to the Wayfaring Panda. I'm Annette. Today I'm participating in a YouTube Hop of Simple Stories Saturday put on by Joanne Bartel. So the idea is, of course, to use Simple Stories products. I have this collection of vintage C's from Simple Stories. So I'm going to be using these to scrapbook some photos I have, I think from 1990, of the Yacht Club at Disney World. I got to stay there because I was a travel agent and I went on a fam trip where they toured the hotels and things like that. But we did get some time at the parks. So I have this paper. I'll also be using a sketch from Orlanda Silva because I'm doing a sketchathon in July for Disney, anything Disney. So that's why I chose this. So I have this paper. I think I'm going to use this as the background. It's busier, but since it's just white and blue, that should be fine. And then I have this, and I think I want to use the front and back for this. I think those papers go really well together. And then I'll see what it looks like, but I want to use one of these for my journaling. I still have a sticker sheet I can use for my clusters, as well as the Nautical bits. I don't know if I'll use these. These are the closest colors I could find of enamel dots that I have. But I also have these, which came from the collection. And then I have the washi tape. And I die cut some paper with a Creative Memories rope punch. So I thought that looks very nautical. So I'll go ahead and get my pictures mounted and cut the papers, and I'll be back. I cut the Beach Vibes paper into 3 strips, and 2 of them are the same because I'm going to use those at the top and bottom. And the sketch shows that the paper is torn at the top and bottom, so I'm just tearing these 2 strips. Kind of challenging myself because I don't usually rip paper, so I'm gradually trying to do that on some of the layouts. Then I just use my Tim Holtz blending tool to put on some Uncharted Mariner Distress ink along the edges of my strips. And for the middle one, I'm using the striped side. Then I used my Nouveau Deluxe glue to glue down my strips. Now, when I tore my paper, I had to make sure that the strips that are going at the top and bottom are facing the right way because, as you can tell, these are directional because I wouldn't want my seahorses upside down. Now, the striped paper, it didn't matter, and I just glued that in the middle. Then I used my Nouveau Deluxe glue to glue my rope borders to the bottom and top edge of the layout. For this border, I used Creative Memories border maker system with the rope cartridge, and I do show how to use that on some of my videos. I do like it because then you just buy cartridges separately instead of the whole punch. The sketch showed a thin strip, it could be paper or washi tape, whatever you have a thin strip of, right below the torn edge. So lately I've been trying to use washi anytime I see somewhere I can, just because I have so much that I haven't used, so I want to make sure that I am using it. And this collection had a whole set. I think there are 5 different ones that came in this set. I think it goes perfectly with this paper. I'm adding my photos on white cardstock, which is unusual for me because usually I use a colored cardstock, but I figured out that that's what made them pop best on this background. And I also went ahead and cut out and filled out my journaling card, just basically telling that this is at Disney's Yacht Club and I went there as a fam trip when I was a travel agent. I picked out one of the phrases on the sticker sheet to use for my title, and that's why I put the pictures down already so that I can see where to put the title. And it just says, "Time to unwind," which I thought was perfect for going back to the hotel. I moved the photos off because the sketch also showed doing another strip kind of across the middle of the page, but go all the way from side to side, whereas that striped paper doesn't quite go all the way across. So, of course, this is a good opportunity to use some more of that washi tape. So I picked the one that has the sailboats and the coral on it. Now that I finished that, I went ahead and put my pictures back on the page so I can figure out what embellishments look best with them and which ones to use. I started with my nautical bits because I knew I wanted to use one of the lighthouses, and I just got several of those out and tried them out to see which lighthouse looked best on the layout. And also, according to the sketch with the clusters I had, I knew I needed a round element, so I did save a few of those to the side trying to decide which one to use. Then I tried out different elements to see what would look best on the bottom of the page. I tried one whale, but I didn't like the way that it was facing off the page, so I picked the whale that's facing into the page. And then I also picked out a couple of the schooners to use on the layout. Then I started gluing down my larger elements. I glued down the whale and attached my photos to the layout. I had already put on some photo squares, or sometimes they're called mounting squares or photo splits. I put those on the back, and so I'm just attaching those to my layout. Since this is a hotel at Disney World, I decided I had to have some kind of Mickey Mouse element in here. So I have some dies that are nautical that I got from Scraps and Ink, which I believe is an Etsy store. I'm not sure. But anyway, I'll put the link below in case you're interested in that. And I cut them out in red and blue, so I'm just kind of deciding which anchors I want to put on the page and where I want to put them. I got the dies because we went on an Alaskan Disney cruise several years ago, and I still have to scrapbook those pictures. So I thought these dies would come in handy with that, and plus photos like this one that I can use it on. I also keep playing with my embellishments, and I decided to switch out the compass rose for one of the life preservers. I think I like the color of it better. I'll put a list of all the products that I'm using in the description below. Some of these will be affiliate links. They don't cost you anything extra to use, but I do get a small commission from any sales that the links generate, and that helps support my channel. Now, this is an older collection, but I believe there are still bits and pieces out there that you may be able to get. If not, I'm pretty sure that they do put out like different beach collections and nautical ones, so they'll probably have something that will take its place in the future. There are several creators who play along with Simple Story Saturday, so I'll put a list of all the participants in the description below. It'll be a link to their YouTube channel, so you just go to their channel and then click on their Simple Stories video for today. And then you can get some more ideas for using different Simple Stories products. And even if you don't have Simple Stories, these are ideas that you can use with the different themes or with different paper. And also, I think it's really cool to see how people may use the same collections and get a whole different look depending on what layout they use and what they do with it. As a final embellishment, I'm adding some black enamel dots, and this came from the Say Cheese Tomorrow at the Park. I think there are black enamel dots that come with different collections. I didn't happen to have any from this collection. And I'm also using some of the decorative brads. They're not really brads, but they're called decorative brads because they're more like a sticker, actually. So I'm using those to finish up the embellishments on my scrapbook page. I want to thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, please give it a like. And if you're not already a subscriber, I'd really appreciate if you can subscribe to the channel. Thank you, and have a wonderful day.